I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. I would like to welcome Katheryne Persik. Hi.
Hello.
All right, please introduce yourself.
こんばんは. This is Katheryne Persik, baker in the sunrise, force protector in the sunset, streamer in the moonlight. I am a baker VTuber that usually do art, co-working, and variety gaming. Nice to meet you.
Hi, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. A baker and artist. That sounds like lots of cakes to me.
Yep, me.
I'm all for cakes, especially if I can eat them. I'm definitely all for them.
Yeah.
I
haven't had a cake in a very long time,
yeah,
personally.
Me neither. Unfortunately, I had some replumbing done several years ago, and since then, any type of sugar really makes me ill. So, so that takes out about half of what I used to eat as a kid.
Understandable.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not bitter. No. But unfortunately, since I can't have any candy, I'm not very sweet either. So when did you get started with VTubing?
I started around February 2022, so it's been a little over 3 years now.
Whoa.
Thinking about it, it's quite a long time, but like the time passes by so quickly. I think like by the time I hit like my third anniversary, a couple months ago, I was like, wait a minute. I remember my going towards my first anniversary takes forever.
Yeah.
Now I'm already going to year 2, and now I'm on year 3.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy to me.
Yeah. When you're doing something you really enjoy, and that really just runs away, time just takes off from you, and you want to do more, but it's like you already do 26 out of 24 hours doing stuff to go into it. So we talked a little bit before we came on, and you are very much a community-minded VTuber. It's was that something you wanted to do right off the bat, or did you pick that up as you went along?
I kind of like elaborate more on community-driven because I may misinterpret it in my answer later on if I don't ask beforehand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a situation where you definitely enjoy the people you're with, and they enjoy you. It's nice to know that there are people out there who do that sort of thing, and it can get it's tough to explain how personal that can get without being overzealous with it, and it's just a nice feeling to know that you've got a place where you're welcomed and you welcome other people too.
I think it's because it took a little bit actually. My content back when I started out is completely different from what I do now. Which to be fair, as I go along, I think my current content at the moment is where I'm happiest. I kind of know what my groove is. Like, I am a very busy person. I do commissions on top of, VTubing. They kind of go hand in hand, and they support one another because they're basically under, Katheryne Persik.
Right.
And I guess it also like it helps with like increasing my streaming hours as well as I'm still doing my job, right?
Yeah, of course.
So
yeah, and
it's kind of like a win-win for me.
It is, and it kind of supports each other as it goes in an organic way. Have you been an artist all your life?
In a way where I make money off of it. I only got started with it while I'm also kickstarting my VTubing as well, actually. I only get started on taking commissions almost 2 years ago now, since 2023. But as for when I started drawing as a lifetime hobby, I guess when I was like, since I was like really, really young, I think like around the middle of elementary school,
Hmm.
that's when I picked up drawing.
Hmm.
And it kind of like went on from there, really.
Yeah. Are you one of those artists that is never completely finished with what you're doing and keeps wanting to go back and tweak it when you're done?
I try my best to get over that feeling. I know, like there's a difference between like things that I'm like completely proud of and like I'm gonna like move on to the next thing compared to like a long term project that I can tweak over and over and over again. Like
Hmm.
for example, with my current Life 2D model, sometimes when if I have the time for it, I try to do some tweaks here and there, see what I can add more to it
Hmm.
that are not just like a whole new outfit. I wanted to try to see if I can like tweak it around to make it look more higher quality and that reflects my current skill more.
Mm.
Basically,
That's cool.
that's one of the examples that I, go back to my work and then like tweak around it. But like most of the time they're only applied to like long term projects. I don't see myself doing it to like short term projects like at all.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's great that you're able to. You got that extra skill that you can work on them yourselves and tweak and get it the exact way you want. Um,
mhm.
I say I've said before I have no art skill whatsoever, so it's nice to see somebody that does. Um, when you're doing art streams too, right?
Yes, I do art streams. I admit they kind of been falling out. My co-working content has been on the rise a lot more often.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly due to the fact like again, I prioritize commission work a lot more and lately I've been getting more work that are NDA based,
Mm-hmm.
things that are like more so like I think my client is more preferably if I work this without showing the work in progress, even
Yeah.
though I know that they don't mind,
Yeah.
but I had a feeling that some of these projects are like, oh, they wanted us as a surprise and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So co-working
NDA.
streams have been
Yeah.
like a lot more common than art streams. I think I've been only doing art streams for personal works actually.
Mm.
So
The NDA means non-disclosure agreement.
yes.
Means basically be quiet while you're doing it. Don't tell anybody.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Basically, that's
keep a secret.
basically what I do. I just say that, oh yeah, I'm working on
Yeah.
NDA.
Well, the that tells me that you're pretty popular with it. I mean, you've got the work hasn't slowed down for you. They keep commissioning you to do these big projects.
It's more so like I have like I can talk about this a little bit. I have like at least about 3 to 4 long-term projects at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have a bunch of like short-term commissions as well that trickle in
Mm-hmm.
every few weeks or so. And on top of it, I actually also do have my own personal projects that I like to work on, which for obvious reasons, they're surprises and I don't want to like put it out and put it on blast while I'm still like working on it because there's no guarantee that it's gonna like come out like anytime soon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So how many? I talk to artists who do one at a time and have trouble with that. How do you do so many at a time?
Uh, one of the good reasons why I managed to have a lot of time with this, I guess it's mostly because I kind of just do it full time actually.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate to be in a situation where I'm still living under my parents' roof. I
Mm-hmm.
guess it's because of cultural reasons as well. I
Right.
think
Right.
my parents currently prefer me sticking by
Mm-hmm.
for quite a while. So
Yep.
I'm very fortunate to be in a situation like that. As long as I'm like, making any income, I'm good.
Yeah. Show a little.
And
Show
my
a little
any
income.
yeah,
Yeah.
my a
Yeah.
little income. And this little income that I got is, doing these types of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean that reminds me of The Sims, Or you can have you lock somebody in a room and have them paint, and you can live off their paintings. not
Yep.
not that
That's
I
actually
not
speaking of The Sims. I actually been picking up The Sims again. For my streams. Actually, I did a stream. I did a Sim stream last night.
yeah yeah you did. So
Yeah,
which one? Which Sims? The latest one?
the latest one. Yes, Sims 4.
Sims 4. Okay, and did you put any
Yes.
mods on it?
I use custom content.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are mostly for cosmetics. Really, they're not really like any game changing ones. Most
Mm-hmm.
of them are basically just like quality of life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just kind of like play the game like just as is, but and then make it like just a little bit prettier. That's about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I would just find new ways to destroy people's lives in the game.
Woohoo!
And that type of person, yes.
Mm-hmm.
When Sims 1 was out, I took away the ladder to the pool. I did all that stuff.
Of
You
course,
always you gotta,
of course, you're one of those people.
of course, you got to find out, what happens when you
Mm-hmm.
stick a person in a room with a pinball machine and no way to get out. They'll never fall asleep, and you got to figure these things out. It's for science. I always tell myself
It's like
it's
you have your own little guinea pig. Don't you
exactly.
think?
And
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like you have your own like little experiment,
yes.
but it's still ethical because it's in a video
Oh,
game.
yes, yes. Wow, that person can cry for a
Yeah.
long time. The uh, games for you. What do you usually play on stream in your games?
When I play games, it's a little bit of a it's kind of like a jumbled mess, honestly. I just play whatever I want.
Mm,
Let me look at my Steam library for reference.
yeah. Well, The Sims,
Let's
obviously, last
see.
night. Yeah.
I played The Sims last night. I sometimes play obvious collaborative games like Overcook,
Hmm.
or Repo.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit of everything, really.
Hmm.
If there's a day where I feel like I want to play a game, it could be absolutely anything. I
Mm,
remember I started off the year playing Sonic Frontiers,
yeah.
and after finishing that game, I decided to just be like, might as well pick up something.
Mm,
And The Sims 4 it catch my eye on to pick what to pick up next. So
yeah.
I just kind of pick that up. And once I'm basically got bored of The Sims, if I ever get bored of it, I definitely feel like after my main sim dies, I will move on to a different game.
Yeah.
I'll pick up like another different thing again.
Yeah.
It's
Um.
kind of it's pretty unpredictable. I'd say. I'd
Yeah.
say that's why I'm more fitting to be a variety streamer than a streamer that's dedicated to a genre of games.
What about
Really.
something like Phasmophobia?
Oh, I'm not good at horror. I'm not,
One of us.
I'm not my heart is very weak. Well, not physically, but like mentally. Horror games are very taxing for me in
Yeah.
general, so I tend to avoid that type of category
Yeah.
unless it's like the sillier ones, like Repo or Lethal Company.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're on the sillier side. I can handle it, but like anything like Phasmophobia, that's already crossing the line for
Oh
me.
yeah. It looks like it would be a lot of fun until you actually saw the ghost.
Yes, indeed.
And then that's when I shut the computer off and go to bed.
Yeah, I
And
just turn off the computer and then clock off for the night. Good night.
exactly.
It was fun.
It was fun. Goodbye. We'll raid this person. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Whoever
Yeah,
kills the
that's
person.
basically what's gonna happen if I play Phasmophobia on stream.
So, has it been? Was it easy for you once you got started to find collaboration and other folks to play with?
Um, hmm. It really it really depends really
Hmm.
on like what we do.
Hmm.
I've been finding people from the Twitch Creator Club. I'm in the club and to and sometimes talk there. Sometimes I ask people to collaborate with me there. Sometimes I pick up my own friends.
Hmm.
Sometimes I pick up mutuals that I wanted to get to know better.
Yeah.
Uh, In fact, actually, tomorrow I do have a collab for co-working. Actually,
Mm,
I gathered a few people from from the creator club, and then I'm like, "Hey, how about we try to do a co-working collab?
that's
I want to
cool.
see if it works out or not."
So what? How is it? Is everybody going to be working on their own projects and just kind of?
Yeah, everyone's gonna be. I think like the system is gonna be like kind of imagine like you're in a Zoom call
Uh-huh.
and like but the Zoom call is filled with other VTubers.
Oh, okay. And they're kind of doing their
And you're
own thing,
basically
and
in like a yeah, you're
mm,
basically like in like your own little library
yeah, there you go.
with
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I can
Kind of
see
like we're
that.
trying to make like this immersive experience so that it one it helps you focus, and two you're focusing with other anime people.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah.
So
That'd be pretty cool. I imagine there'll be a lot of folks be hanging around for that.
mm-hmm.
That's
I hope so because
yeah,
if this one works out, I may make it a reoccurring thing,
yeah,
and get more people to get into co-working because
yeah.
it's fun
Be kind of like a study
and you actually
hall.
get stuff done.
Yeah,
So
be like a VTuber study hall.
yeah,
Everybody can sit there, and you every once in a while, if somebody talks too loud, somebody you need some old guy to come up and tell them quiet.
yep.
Give him a detention or something. the that's a really good idea, I think, and that's coming up. Is that tomorrow?
Uh-huh. That's
Okay,
around tomorrow, yes.
yeah, okay. So folks, check it out. We're gonna have all the links in the description for this video, so you can check out see
Woohoo!
what Catherine's got going on. The the artist part when you're doing the games, when you start off a game,
Hmm.
being as you're being an artist, does the art of the game affect how you enjoy it?
Greatly.
Hmm.
It's a lot. If I don't like the art style of the game itself, I just skip the game.
Ah, okay.
I look from the cover. The cover is how I judge the game,
Hmm.
basically.
Yeah,
Like at first glance.
yeah.
So if I'm it's mostly personal preferences for this part,
Hmm.
but it's basically how I kind of like pick my games. If I like the art style of it, I'll check it out. If I don't like it, I'll just skip it. And I'm also a little bit of a nerd in terms of like the looking for the concept art of like of like any type of media really.
Hmm.
And I'm also like really like to hunt down as many art books as I can. If there's a game that I really like and they provided an art book for it, I will buy it.
Cool.
Basically.
So,
Hmm.
do you buy it as a kind of a collection, or do you buy it to learn?
I buy it for both.
Mm, yeah,
Basically, I want to immerse myself into the lore building that
yeah.
the developers made for the game, for example.
Mm,
And I wanted to like also like learn like like the composition of how they do things.
mm,
Basically, kind of like the ins and outs of like their workflow as well. I kind of want to like get to know it just a tiny bit,
yeah.
and art books definitely helped a lot. And on top of it, they really provide really really pretty art, so it's a win-win for me.
Oh,
I
yeah.
really
And
like looking at pretty art.
yeah, so you get to have your collection, but you also get to use it to add to your repertoire as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like becoming like a learning tool and also an enjoyment for my eyes.
Excellent. A lot of this, well, a lot of this is coming together for you, isn't it? It's like everything you're doing with this with VTubing is a multitask, whether intentional or not.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. It's kind of like I think that's also like one of the things that I realized when I started out. When people are saying that like the first impression of someone seeing like I'm not just saying VTuber, a live streamer, I'd say
Uh-huh.
they'd be like, oh, you just turn on the stream and then you can do whatever you want and people still watch, right?
Right.
Your first glance will definitely be something like that, along the lines of that, until you actually dive into what you're doing with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
When you actually do it, it feels like you're multitasking like almost all the time.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. But it seems like you're up for the task, and just hearing you talk about it, it really is something that you're enjoying. Um,
It is definitely
yeah,
one of the best things I've actually done in my life, to be fair. I guess it's also helps that I started. Oh, sorry, that my voice cracked. My I started when I was in university actually,
hmm
and then I graduated university, and now I'm kind of doing this full time now until at some point maybe I'll get bored of it and then be a normal person again.
Oh,
But
don't be
I'm really
normal.
enjoying like this part of my life
Yeah.
at the moment.
So at university, did you study art?
At university, surprisingly, I did pretty okay. Despite being like an obvious like average Joe,
Yeah.
I'd say.
I meant,
I'd
did you?
say I don't do splendid, but I did not like fail any
Yeah.
classes, so
Well, I meant,
I'd say that's a win.
did you take artistry classes?
I take animation as my major, actually.
Oh, cool. So did you?
Yes.
Would you? I'm bringing all this together to say, do you want to work on animation for video games?
I'd say for
Mm,
movies, actually, that's the main goal.
yeah.
At least if we're talking about like my goals since childhood, the time where I don't know VTubers are a thing, or at a time, or even at a time where VTubers don't even exist.
Right.
I'd say that I want to make movies and make it them pretty and all that stuff. That'd be really cool. That's basically how I was like a couple, like at least like a decade ago.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I like being an anime girl on the internet, and I'm happy with that. It's like your mindset is starting to turn towards living in the moment.
Right.
It feels really good. I'd say it feels really good.
Yeah. It's liberating in a way, isn't
Yeah.
it? It really,
Mhm.
you get to present yourself how you want to present yourself, and
Mhm.
I tell you, it's like going from a high school type to a college situation where you're still the same person, but no one has any um, idea who you are. You can set
Yeah, I think.
you can set the limits before you even start.
Yeah, I think like me from like at least 4 to 5 years ago, at least like during freshman year
Mm-hmm.
ish, they'd be like, "Oh wow, I didn't think that me in the future would talk to like so many people
Yeah.
and not be scared doing so, and also be like, wow, I cannot believe me 5 years later actually grew to quote unquote like their voice."
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's a very good voice. It works out extremely well for this, and and
Yeah.
and also maybe when you find out that other people like to hear you and come back to be a part of your streams.
Yeah. I think the way that I actually grew to quote unquote like my voice, I'd say liking my voice would sound a little bit too egotistical. So I would say like grew to, bear my voice and like
Tolerate it.
listening to myself.
Yeah,
Yeah, I grew to basically tolerate it
yeah,
is because I learned very, very early on that doing like reviewing yourself in the technical side of things as instead of just like stats wise, oh, I'm not getting enough views today, instead of looking at that, I look at the quality of my streams instead.
hmm
I look at the technicalities of like, oh, is the audio okay? Oh, the audio's bad, I'll do it better next time.
hmm
Is the video okay? Oh, the video's not that good, let me just bump up the bitrate for next time.
hmm hmm
I think when I started out, I basically threw away any concept of like looking at stats until like probably like a year in
hmm
to basically focus on making my content bearable to watch
hmm
from my own eyes.
Well, that's a good idea. I mean, you're still working on yourself to get it ready to go, and there are times when an audience will grow organically and naturally, and there are
Yeah.
some folks who promote themselves endlessly and to various
Mm.
success, depending on how they know how to do it, correctly or incorrectly.
Definitely.
And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you end up at the same number anyway. There's still a bit of random chance involved, but if you're putting out a good product that you're proud of, then other people will catch on to it eventually.
Definitely. I
Yeah.
think that's why I think like actually the funniest story I can talk about this. It's been like 2 years. I can laugh at myself for it. The first time I had a breakdown over, my
Yeah.
stats,
Yeah.
the view count, the dreaded view count was like around like after like a year into me streaming. I never had that problem before
Mm,
until that point.
yeah. And
Because I think that's where I started to focus a little bit on stats
mm,
wise, how I'm doing on my streams in
yeah.
other people's eyes.
Yeah.
Am I entertaining enough, basically?
Yeah. Yeah. It's it's um it's a tough thing to balance, because
Yeah.
even if there's some people, and it's just going to happen, where you put your heart and soul into it, you work hard on it, and it just doesn't show fruit for a long time, and
Yeah.
it just because of how things work, and there are other people who fall into it, and um, they don't tend to last very long, even if they do get a lot of people come at them early. They'll leave
Yeah.
and find something else to do. But I look at it,
Definitely.
yeah, I look at it kind of like a
Mm,
sports analogy. If someone is playing
hmm
soccer, football, and they average scoring a goal and a half a game, but their team loses every time.
mm,
I mean, where's the quality involved in that? How are you really helping and putting it together? If you put together a quality match yourself and help other people and help the team together, maybe you start winning some of those games. Um,
mm.
it's um, if you put out the technical good stuff, eventually you'll be rewarded.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think that's really nice. I think if I were to like give advice to someone starting out, I think it's better. I think I would probably like, aside from giving like the sillier but very logical answer of like, oh yeah, get a LAN cable and please just upgrade your PC first. Like I don't care, just get your PC like up and running to like at least be able to stream.
Right.
Like that's the obvious advices I would give to people, and I will still give those advices to people. But I think if I were to like give advice to someone in a more sentimental-ish way, in some sort of like what I would say to myself,
Hmm.
uh, 3 years ago, I think I would say along the lines of like possibly learned and improve on the fundamentals
Yeah.
greatly
Yeah.
until you can start thinking about like the external set of things. You have to look at yourself first.
Mm.
You have to look at your streams. No matter how much you don't want to hear a voice, you kind of have to.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not much you can do to stop that. It's going to be in your head at least, if nothing else. Um,
Yeah.
and you got to
Yeah,
use.
when you start out, you don't have like a chat to tell you your volumes all jumbled up. You have to be the one monitoring it yourself. I do that for like the longest time. And then like nowadays I got, people coming in chat early enough to tell me, "Oh, hey, audio's not okay, audio's okay," which I'm very fortunate to have. For those of you that are watching, thank you. I love you.
That's your bonus pay.
Mhm.
It's a shout out.
Yeah.
But it's good to have folks who are able to help you with it. It does take, if you can
Mhm.
trust those folks, and you shouldn't put anybody in those things that you can't trust to start with. And they're able to
Yeah.
handle some of this other stuff. It does take a load off of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think like the best judge in terms of that stuff when you start off is wherever ever yourself. You cannot really rely on other people at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You have to basically do literally everything on your own,
Yeah.
from checking it to from checking if everything's okay on the streaming side, like on the viewer side,
Mm-hmm.
to basically like reviewing everything after you're done.
Right. Right.
You kind of have to do it all on your own. I remember I used to have to pull up my stream on the Twitch mobile app just to check my volume
Wow.
because I cannot trust my ears with my headset at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll tend to lie. They'll tend to lie. And if you're
They
using
tend to
some of these,
lie.
yeah, if you tend to use some of these programs on the net, I use Audacity because it's free and I'm cheap. Um,
Hmm.
you have to keep an eye on things too because they'll change the levels on you between interviews on the same day
Hmm.
without you doing anything. So you do have to keep an eye on
Yeah.
those at all times. You know, I kind of think you're looking at this like an artist would, in that people who create art on their own really have to rely on themselves for a lot. Um, you're
Yeah.
doing your own editing, you're doing your own concept, you're picking your own colors for crying out loud, um,
Hmm.
and that type of responsibility sounds like it's carried over to you for you on VTubing as well.
Yeah, I think it definitely like helps a lot. The way when you put it that way, maybe think about it a little bit more, of
Mm.
like how I managed to be able to handle all of this without losing my mind when I started out. I think it's because of that sense of responsibility that carried over from when I started doing the art stuff like a lot more seriously when I went into uni.
Yeah.
Uh, where I'm given like so many projects and they're doing like what 2 days,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I have to multitask between like because there's not just one but two,
Yeah. Yeah.
So at that point, it kind of carried my responsibility, like the responsibility habit, kind of got carried over to VTubing,
Yeah.
and I think I do see it like getting instead of like going lower ever since I graduated from university,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of cranked up by like a lot. I'm taking in like what 5 to 6 projects at once now,
Yeah.
commission and personal.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, are you taking commissions right now?
Yes, I do actually.
Yeah. Well, we have the website up, and I wanted to ask you about that a little bit. A Wide Studio. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Oh, White Studio. Oh, I'm so happy that you asked me this because not a lot of interviewers ask me about White Studio. So
Well,
White Studio is a originally is just a little friend group between me, Baronome Kimiko, and Mara Malice. We were all three of us met each other when we first started out. We don't know each other beforehand. We kind of the moment we start VTubing,
hmm,
like individually,
yeah.
the first few friends that we made is like just just us three,
Hmm.
and kind of like we kind of became like a solid friend group ish
Hmm.
for the longest time. And then one day around like a year or two ago, I'd say 2 years ago, that's when we first brought up the idea where we were like, oh, since Mara can do overlay design, graphic design,
Hmm.
and Kat can do like her usual art stuff, and then Bara can probably help the technical side of things, the admin side of things.
Hmm.
How about we make it into like an official group?
Hmm.
Maybe like at a instead of like a just like a VTuber indie group where like
Right.
it's just a bunch of VTubers.
Yeah.
How about we kind of like mold this group into a design studio where we basically kind of like help out with creating assets and all that for not only VTubers but other content creators as well.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
and that's how White Studio came to be.
Yep. We have the link in the description for folks who want to check that out. If someone wanted to get a hold of you for commissions, can they use that link?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I do currently since I'm basically the only fully active member at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
The bar is kind of like coming back at the moment, but at the moment I'm the fully active member. You can commission me through the White Studio website. They lead you to not only my VGen, where I take in international clients, but for clients that are from Indonesia, my country of origin, because
Mm-hmm.
we have completely different economy going on
Yes.
without getting in really deep into it.
Yes.
I do have the White Studio website to provide a different price list for people living in Indonesia
Oh,
to make it easier for their pockets.
cool. That's great to see that you're. Yeah. It seems to be in your nature to be doing more than one thing at a time. Um,
Yeah,
you've been.
I think for this case it's more so a common practice
Yeah.
for Indonesian artists in particular, since, like I said earlier, our economy situation is completely different compared to like international market.
Mm-hmm.
So it's understandable that we do not want to charge people way more than they should.
Yeah.
We kind of like price have a different price list that matches well with the market
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. That's something you can do with your type of work as opposed to a manufacturer or that type of thing because you're
Yeah,
setting your own prices and manufacturers can't do that for the most part.
exactly.
Makes a lot tougher on them.
Hmm.
You're one smart egg here. You got a lot of
Thank
irons in the
you.
fire, but you're keeping them all warm. I'll tell you that. It's really amazing to hear what you've been able to do with it, and to talk to you and get that feeling that you're really enjoying doing this. Um, it sounds like
Yeah,
it really does
I
sound like it
do.
was meant for you.
It felt like it doesn't sound like it. I know I'm not gonna do this forever.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of like a thing that it's not a sad thing to admit. Okay, yeah, okay, you gotta admit it's pretty sad, but it's a realistic way to put it that, not everything lasts forever. And VTubers, they move on, and I guess according, like, if you look at the track record of like basically everyone, uh people don't do this type of stuff like as a lifetime career,
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
And For me, I'd say, to put it on a positive light, I will definitely do this for a very long time,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll put it at that, really.
You don't
Like
have
I
a
said,
date set for retirement slash graduation.
nah, I don't see it. I'm
Yeah,
not seeing it yet. I
yeah.
think I can go on for like, I don't know, more than 2 years.
Oh,
I'll give myself more than 2 years.
I was wondering if you'd say like 40 years or something like that. So
Oh no, I'm gonna be like elderly at that point. Ugh.
hey, now some of us are already there. Okay, we're trailing.
Elderly. I'd be thinking about, my retirement money, which I will not be able to have because I'm just doing VTubing. There's no such thing as retirement money.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Yeah, well, there's much retirement money for anybody at this point, anywhere. But I will say this, I wouldn't be too surprised. I'm going to be 60 this year myself, but I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
be too surprised to see some people eventually after retirement pick this up
I
as
think that's definitely like a really cool thing to do.
yeah,
Like, VTubing is such a very accessible medium to get into.
yeah,
2 years ago, wait, not 2 years ago, when I started, it's a lot harder to get into
hmm
because the tutorials, they're scarce. There's not a lot of tutorials for you to, make your own model,
right,
to get into the side of things, especially if you're like doing this on a budget.
yeah,
There's not a lot of resources for it yet. Now, there's so many people making tutorials every day, to
yeah,
the point that if you just look it up, like, on YouTube, for example, how to make a VTuber model, there will be like, what, 500 tutorials for you to look at?
yeah. and
And you can do them for free.
and some of them will be even
Software
right.
wise.
Some of them won't be right at
Yeah.
all.
Yep. And then like you can just be like, or if you like, and even if you like don't have the funds for it, there's so many free resources.
Yeah,
It's VTubing has become so much more accessible, and I'm very very happy about it.
yeah,
I'm really happy about it.
yeah, yeah,
It's just as long as these accessible resources are accessed by the right people, that's where I'm fine with.
yeah, yeah.
Really.
Well, I'm glad for because I get a chance to talk with some great folks like yourself, and
Oh.
being able to talk all the way around the world with someone as amazingly talented as yourself is just amazing to me. I thank the big guy every day for the chance to do something like this, and I really hope that I can get you back on again because this flew by for me. I got a lot more
Yeah,
questions for you.
I have so many things to talk about, but I know that you don't do these for like very long.
Well, we did go
So,
40 minutes. That's pretty long.
oh, oh, sorry, I'm quite a yapper. I
But
apologize.
that's wonderful because it means that people are going to hear that you enjoy what you're doing, and that's when time gets away. We just talked about that right at the beginning. Time gets away from you when you're enjoying yourself, and
Exactly,
I definitely enjoyed
definitely.
myself. Please come back again and let us know what's going on with you.
Yeah, definitely. Feel free to invite me again whenever there's a great chance. That's when there's like a perfect time for me to come back. I'll definitely respond.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.